Science fiction and fantasy have always been popular on television. And in the magical land of unsold pilots, there live some of the wildest adventures you've never experienced. So, let us now take a journey into the fantastic, the nightmarish, the futuristic, worlds where only the imagination dares venture.
Hey, fella.
While saving a turtle from almost certain death, mild-mannered schoolteacher Eric Smith was nearly crushed by a charging locomotive when suddenly he found within himself previously untapped powers. When suddenly he discovered he was the man with the power.
What I'm about to tell you is known to no other person on Earth.
But Eric soon found out that his paranormal powers had a simple, rational explanation. His father was an alien.
He was here for 5 years, and he did his job. But during that time, he met a young woman, and he fell in love. And contrary to all his orders, they got married, and they had a child.
With the help of his mentor, Agent Walter Bloom, Eric gradually learned to control these telekinetic powers. It all culminated when Eric moved a wagon, much to their mutual delight.
Terrific!
Are you satisfied, Eric Smith?
Hardly. I've just begun.
Had this gone to series, Eric would have aided the government as a secret agent. In Northstar, BJ and the Bear's Greg Evigan plays Major Jack North, an astronaut who, when zapped by a solar disturbance, gains superhuman powers and a superhuman mind, triggered by sunlight.
Major! No!
However, too much sunlight without the protection of special sunglasses will make him explode. Jack North also became a secret agent, so chances are, had he gone to series, he would have run into Eric Smith, the man with the power, had he also gone to series. When Nick Conrad, a kindly physics professor, is paralyzed by marauding hitmen, he constructs a special suit that turns him into his superhuman alter ego, ExoMan. ExoMan's main crime-fighting tactic was psychological terror. He never actually touched a hair on his enemies' heads. All he had to do was show up.
And weird as it is, television gets even weirder.
And weird was never weirder than when New York psychiatrist Dr. Stephen Strange entered the psychedelic tunnel of light to the fourth dimension in Doctor Strange. Stanley Kubrick might have pioneered this effect in 2001: A Space Odyssey, but only Doctor Strange dared bring it to television.
You should learn whose powers to respect.
The Strange Doctor's chief adversary was medieval villainess Morgan Le Fay, who entered the realm of the present day to bear down her wrath of destruction by direct orders from Godzilla in his first and only speaking role.
Beg me to destroy you, Morgan. Pray to me for death.
This cannot be! I am Kali, goddess of destruction. I am Lilith, queen of demons, end of the flesh. And I am Ishtar, bloody Ishtar, and I am Morgan!
Yak, yak, yak.
Without your 5 clans as part of my alliance, the Bardrigian dynasty will eat us all.
Oscar winner and airport movie perennial George Kennedy played King Brachus, father of young Prince Turan in The Archer, Fugitive from the Empire.
Find Lasasa.
When Brachus is killed, the young prince is forced to flee his mystical empire when the vile, power-hungry Gar, the Destroyer, frames him for the crime. Turan, brandishing his magical bow and arrow, wanders the world accompanied by Slant the Gambler and Esther the Sensuous Enchantress in search of the wizard who can give him his throne before the monstrous forces of Gar entrap them. Or something like that. And if this had become a series, each week viewers would have joined Mathis, Jen, Ghana, Gorin, Gada, Arus, Cerise, and the rest of the tribe for a whole lot of prehistoric fun, as only Cro-Magnon man can deliver. And 100,000 years later, meet Dr. Simon Shane, 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 and 8 more Dr. Simon Shanes in Clone Master.
working on some very sophisticated cloning experiments, but working on cloning and being a clone are two different things.
This sensitive examination of the complex identity problems all clones must face would have dealt with the specific tribulations of a different Dr. Simon Shane each week.
You're a clone. I'm Simon Shane. So am I. So are we all. I'm Simon Shane. I'm not a clone.
Leonard Nimoy stars as Tom Kovac, a hotshot race car driver who, after being injured in a crash, acquires amazing psychic abilities that throw him into a telepathic tailspin of extrasensory confusion.
Did it seem you were dead for a moment?
Well, I don't know. I guess you might say I was...
All right, okay.
True to Mr. Spock, Kovac attempts to find a logical reason for his puzzling predicament.
I could have stepped into my shower, slipped on a cake of soap, hit my head on the tiles, and crawled out half-conscious.
But this answer does not suffice, and Kovac remains baffled. Had this gone to series, he too would have been a government agent like Jack North and the man with the power.